Hi Libra, here's a general look at your solar chart for July 2012. Now there's a lot going on in the sky in July for us all. There's going to be a grand cross which influences us across the board, and it will be affecting your sign quite strongly depending where your sun is in the sign of Libra. But basically this grand cross is going to be a series of oppositions and hard aspects between the Moon and Pluto and Mars and Uranus, and then there's going to be a separate opposition, which is a kind of hard angle and a conflicting energy happening between the Sun and Saturn. And you still do have Saturn in your sign, and actually I should tell you about that first. Get that out of the way. That's happening, the peak of that's between the 14th and the 16th to the 17th. And perhaps it's better to keep things as simple and as low-key as you can and not schedule anything important if you can help it over those days there. Not that you wouldn't be able to manage it, but it's just that if you do have the choice, probably don't go for something which is going to demand too much of you over those days there. But this grand cross is particularly affecting the cardinal signs and your sign, along with Aries, Cancer and Capricorn are cardinal signs. So when you look behind you, once you come into the clear open waters after this time, which is basically going on mostly around about the middle of the month. The new moon is happening on the 19th, but the grand cross is actually cranking up from, on the 17th, 16th, 17th, and still there, on the 19th. But it's kind of separating then. But that's all the astrological stuff. But basically what it's going to mean is that you're likely to come up against a few frustrating moments, and you'll probably be a lot more concerned and giving more attention to your overall direction in life, how it is being affected by the conditions around you, by the people and their circumstances affecting them that are in your life. And for some reason you may feel a bit in the spotlight or a bit scrutinized, and quite aware of your presentation skills, your reputation, your image, how well you're coming across, and you'll be very keen to make the right impression in the right quarters. And it might mean you're dealing more with red tape or officialdom or bosses or parents, parental figures, and anybody. It feels quite professional and formal, and that you have to show a standard. You have to bear the standard. You have to be the standard bearer, or you have to show a firm direction. Stand up, stand tall, and be balanced. You are the sign of the balance, and show that direction. But don't feel forced. Don't feel pressured, because that's where you trip up. So find that point of balance within yourself. Don't just put it on like an outside a mask or something, but feel it within yourself, and then externalize it right from your back, right from the center of yourself, from your back. And I'm saying all this because I think you might get a little bit frustrated in certain situations, and this grand cross might be the trigger, not just for your sign, but for all the signs of various things. It feels quite volatile and unstable, what's going on, with Mars niggling Uranus and Pluto as well, particularly between the 14th and the 22nd. So as I say, it's not just for you, but I'm mentioning it as well because you are one of the cardinal signs. So it could be a pivotal time. It can be a time when challenges are met and dealt with and chucked aside. But if you feel like it's an uphill climb for you, follow your heart. Keep your balance. Keep your harmony within. Follow your heart, and you'll get there. Now, having got all that out of the way, the new moon actually is a good point here, because it's related to your general life direction, career stuff, and where you go from here. So it does allow you, and new moon always, I call it, pushing down the clutch and putting the gears into neutral, because new moon energy isn't positive or negative, it simply is neutral to my way of thinking, and it allows you to take steps in the direction of where you want to go, and then that sets the precedent, that starts the pulse going in that direction over the month to come. So particularly on the day of the new moon, just do it just needs to be one thing, and that would almost like give the message. And also Venus is in quite a nice place for you as well, and it's in a very long transit. It'll be there until August now, from July, but it does mean that travel can be beneficial. Places and faces at a distance, those connected to foreign lands or those at a distance from you, could be beneficial in some way. An academic type environment, an educational environment, a communications type environment, an advice giving environment may be beneficial as well. It is quite tough energies in July for us all, so this Venus energy here is where I would suggest there's ease, more ease here. So somebody that you're connecting with in this type of environment may be an expert in her field. I say her because it's a Venus energy, and that's quite feminine, but it may be a male as well, and could be, some male energies can be quite caring and protective. So it might get it might mean that, but this person or these people are giving you the advice you need, or you're learning from this environment that you're in. They're not consciously giving you any, but you just by being there, you're learning and growing. It might be like that. It might be around language. It just is that certain people there, whether consciously or unconsciously, are being educators, advice givers, and facilitators for you. And also romance. Romance can be very much connected to a long-distance relationship, or with somebody from a foreign place, or somebody who has actually got a very different slant on things to you, and you're learning a lot from them, and they're learning a lot from you. Also, under this particular heading of where Venus is, comes publications, and sort of anything to do with communications, but communications across a wider stage, so putting the word out there in some way, but also gathering in information from 360 degrees as well, and comparing notes and joining up the dots and getting a bit of a fuller picture, getting the overview, and you having to be very much on the ball mentally, but definitely, as I say, if it's anything to do with travel, it's and relationships connecting you to places far away or those at a distance, that can all be beneficial, particularly materially, and also somebody who is giving you of their expertise in some ways, so that can benefit you materially as well. Now, luckily, Jupiter entered this area on the 12th of June, and it will be staying there for another 11 months. And this is a very slow, long transit, but Jupiter I call the planet of learning through doing. So you'll be growing as you get your head around a lot of stuff in this particular area that I've just tried to describe, and you will tend to be expanding through these areas, through these long-distance areas, or travel, or to do with academia or advice giving. I'm expanding into new areas, so that'll be mentally but also physically over that long transit. So that's a big helper for Venus at the moment, against the background of these rather sort of sharp, stiff, jerky, conflicting friction, the energies of friction for us all in July. Now, Mercury this month puts the mental focus on you furthering your aims through contacts and friendships, teamwork really, but your old contacts and also making new ones, perhaps also so through a group effort or a group gathering, through a club or organization, some other type of collective, and of course that can be over the wires as well. So it will be very important that you've got, good contacts, and you're making good contacts at this time, and they will be informative, but also you can glean a lot from them, but also they can be very receptive to what you have to say as well. Discussions and ideas will tend to be progressive and future orientated, and you may be thinking along new and unusual lines because of what you've gleaned, what you've gathered, what you've sort of picked up through these contacts, whether that's through the group mind, or whether that's just through certain friends, because this is very much an area of friends as well. On the 4th of July, Mars leaves the background area where it's been since last November. Now this is really good news for you, Libra, because all of those months, about 8 months in total, Mars has been in an area where it's kind of pulled your energies down and inwards, and you've had very much to play the sort of second fiddle, very much to play the supportive role for others, and also perhaps been uncertain about the future, been very much felt like you've been almost like had your hands tied behind your back in a way. Well, anyway, the good news about this is that from the 4th of July, Mars moves into your sign, and will stay there until late August. So that means that you will start to get this really proactive energy of Mars. As you get clearer, you feel like you've got the confidence to make decisions. You know what you have to do now, and you can get out there and do it. So you can get very dynamic and hands-on with your aims and ambitions. Mars inclines you just to decide to not wait anymore, but to get on and do. It's a sign of physical action. So things that have been up in the air and uncertain, perhaps since last November, you can just kind of see the way now. You begin to see the way now. Mars is about initiating new beginnings, and so you'll tend to throw yourself into things and get on with what you want to do, and what you need to do for yourself as well, because Mars is in your sign. So over this time you can get a huge amount accomplished. Some of you might want to be, getting a makeover job done, and taking perhaps decisions about what you need to do for yourself as far as diet and exercise is concerned. In general, Mars in your sign will tend to attract more hustle and bustle, and dynamism around you, and decisions being made and actions being taken. It feels very male-dominated, actually, very action-orientated at least, and you feel the demand on your stamina, on your time, on your energy, on your vitality, so be careful about that. Don't, spread yourself too thin. And as I say, you can get an awful lot done. So this is the time for you to get with the program, whatever that program is, and do good things for yourself on all levels. But so that is also. But don't be too hasty, because Mars is very, very impatient energy, very feisty energy. Can be a little bit sort of over the top and a bit sort of too pushy. So we'll just watch that one. But otherwise, it's good news. So the position of Mars and also Venus and Jupiter are actually very much on your side against the background of all of these other energies that are flying around the skies at the moment for us all. Now, from the 22nd, you enter a more progressive phase. Groups again, that's when the Sun comes and joins Mercury that I was speaking about earlier. So that's friendships are going to be very highlighted. Networking could be very highlighted. You gathering from the group, you pooling resources with the group, you learning a lot and being inspired through the group, or through friends as well, through a friend. It can just be through a friend. And that's it for July. And speaking about the slower moving planets, if you go to my website, if you're not there already, you find what they're doing, the ones I haven't mentioned, and set this against. Well, you get more of a picture anyway if you have a look at that. And also you might like to find your rising sign or your moon sign if you know them, and listen to the forecast for those, and that will give you more of a picture and give you an idea of what's coming up. And I will see you the next time.